Speaking of mouthfuls, the media scrum also was, and Jesus Christ, what a knot MJF had on his head. It was the size of at least a golf ball. I'm not sure where he got that one from, but
hey, quick question. If you're the booker of that match, I mean, you had the match laid out. Forget it. I was going to say, if you're in the back and you see that on a monitor, do you call any kind of audible when you have a visible thing there? If there was any kind of, I'm not saying ref stoppage or anything, but if you need to stall for time, there's a clear, visible out for the audience.
Well, no, his brain wasn't falling out of his fucking head. He just had a knot.
A hematoma, yeah.
Yeah, a knot. Old knothead. I don't know, unless he was staggering recklessly and attempting to fall, nobody would call an audible over a knot on your head. No, you continue on. If he's got his hands in front of him and screaming, "I can't see," then maybe you start calling audibles. But just for a knot on the head, no, he was fine. He was all right. And as a matter of fact, he had to be all right, because then after wrestling for 65 minutes or whatever the fuck it was and bleeding and blah, 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 he comes to the scrum. He's got a fucking crutch. His head's still bleeding. He's got the fucking lump on it. And he does another, 15 or 20 minutes that just steals the show. He was chewing the fucking scenery like Betty Davis and fucking Jezebel. I mean, he's incredible. How would you even have the energy and the wit and the patience to go out there and just verbally eviscerate he did the muffin thing that Punk did, except he did it with dill pickles. He insulted everybody in the room by telling the truth about him.
Should have been half sour pickles if he had any taste.
No, kosher dills are the way to go, baby.
Half sour. You're sitting down to eat a pickle on its own without putting it with a sandwich or something? You want a half sour.
No, you want that good, delicious, crispy crunch of a Vlasic dill.
I agree, you want the crunch. You want the crunch without that awful taste. So you want a half sour.
Wendy's changed their pickles several years ago to bread and butter pickles, and I had to stop ordering pickles on my fucking Wendy's.
I didn't know that.
I don't know if they've changed back. I haven't ordered pickles since then. I'm too scared to.
You ever accidentally buy those in the grocery store and you bring them home and you put them on your burger and
Just once. I picked up the wrong jar. I thought it was fucking goat meat that I was eating instead of burger meat. But anyway, he did a tour de force performance at the scrum. He insulted all the fake journalists. He was quick. He fucking bing, bing, bing. He was in gimmick perfectly, and at the same time he was kind of saying shit that was a shoot, and with the attitude that it's amazing. It's just so refreshing to see somebody that actually knows how to fucking get over and project their personality in this day and age of these quiet fucking sensitive wrestlers.
Well, that was AEW.
Well, there you go.
That was AEW Revolution and MJF at the media scrum, and it's worth going out of your way to see because he's on his crutch.
Don't watch the whole thing now. It goes like it's 2 hours on YouTube. I clicked in at 33 minutes to get MJF and then clicked out as soon as he departed. But Tony will sit out there for 2 hours and those fucking...
Yeah, because he's got softball questions coming at him.
Well, I was about to say, the site people will sit there and talk to him over it. When nothing is... It's obvious after the first 20 or 30 minutes or when MJF leaves, it's obvious nothing is going to be learned and nothing is really going to happen from there on, except Tony's going to go on forever and a day about how great everybody is. But they will sit there till 3 o'clock in the morning listening to him. And every question is prefaced by, "Oh, it was the most wonderful show I've ever seen, Tony. And now what are your thoughts on the Strategic Air Command?"
Every question has to begin with a compliment. There was a question to Ricky Starks about fashion. I mean, it was just the most ridiculous thing. No one asked anything about CM Punk. Not one question about, hey, best of the world was said several times on this show. Or, hey, there's lots of rumors going around about CM Punk. Not one question. And you want to know why? Because the people in that room were people that Tony knew would play his game. That's why. No hard-hitting questions.
They wouldn't sit there till 3 o'clock in the morning if they weren't ready to play his game. They're more than happy to play his game because that way they get more access for their sites, the more good things they say.
Bingo.
And I'm not even saying everybody's got to be goddamn Woodward and Bernstein, for fuck's sake. But when
every wrestler's question begins with, hey, you had a great match tonight, it was my favorite of the night. You shouldn't be saying that. Why do you have to butter up the wrestler before you ask a softball?
Just to make sure they don't get their feelings hurt. But, and again, like MJF said, I'm not a mark like everybody else that works for this company. And this is a business to me. And then he said, thank you, fuck you, bye. And I will not call Stephen P. New because it was my sentiment exactly, and I'm glad that he spoke it for me.
He should do it on TV. If Moxley could yell fuck you and give everyone the finger every week on TV, MJF needs to get it on TBS.
Yeah, why not?
Would be great if that's how they canceled the show. The last thing was a wrestler saying thank you, fuck you, bye.
And the network responds with no, thank you, fuck you, bye. Either that or they could compare wrestlers to apple pies and we could see what happens.